In this video, I'm building a town into a city to help you sleep, and this is part 2. This one's kind of like I'm decorating a model village and keeping you company, so it's perfect for sleeping, for doing chores on, having it in the background, or actually for sitting and watching if you enjoy this game. Let me know in a comment if you'd like to see part 3. I'm hoping to continue a couple of these games as a series within the series, just like the Build-A-Zoo that I'm doing, so let me know if I should keep coming back to this one. If you're new here, I'm MadMorph, and this is my series where I play games to help you sleep. And if you're returning, welcome home. This is Fall Asleep with MadMorph, episode 53. I also have a free podcast called Down to Sleep where I read you books and bedtime stories. It's on Spotify and everywhere you get podcasts. But if you want to join the Patreon, it supports me. You get exclusive books as well as 620 episodes unlocked instantly. And there are new night shirts in the shop. Find all the links that you need at downtosleeppodcast.com. And now, let's tuck you in. This is Town to City Part 2. So I think what we should do as we work on our little model village here is maybe come over here and dress these houses a little bit. As people are living here now, and we want to take care of them. You can see someone up there on their balcony. So let's get some house decorations in that they might like. A couple of small potted plants for each person. I like how even the grass is different. This person next door is letting their grass grow a little bit. They're doing my thing. And they're rewilding it. Good for the wildlife. And this person could have a full-on willow tree here, which annoys the neighbour because it creates a bit of shade. And we'll have the next tree in this garden in that corner. What I like is the objects change when you put them against a house. They have different options, right? So we have this potted sunflower, and on the floor it's in a pot. But if you put it against a house, it becomes a hanging basket, which is really cute. This person could have a few little mushrooms outside. Maybe there's a rock in this garden as well. I'm just going to go through and see what kind of fits in an empty wheelbarrow, perhaps in this garden that's a little bit overgrown. And a doghouse, since we will be bringing in animals. Right next to it there, pride of place, next to the door. They like their family pet. As you should. Let's see what else we have. Candles on the doorway, that'd be cute. That'll look lovely at night. Next to their doors. And over here. This one there, so they can light their way up the stairs at night. I actually just found out that my neighbour is having to move out. They rent, and the landlords, people, have just said, you gotta be out as quickly as possible because they want to sell. Because there's like new stuff coming in here that makes it harder for landlords and new renters' rights and stuff, so a lot of people are just going, okay, I'll just sell. And that's happening to them. Crazy. They've been there for 12 years. And they're just like, nope, see ya. Time to go. Crazy, right? I was so shocked. And I guess I'll see what type of new neighbours I get, because they've actually been really good. They're pretty quiet once the kid they have has grown up, and then they're really respectful and considerate as well. Like, they do have parties, but they end at a good time when they have people over. Not parties, just people over, do you know what I mean? Let's put a little birdhouse in this garden here. So now I've just got my fingers crossed that I don't get really noisy new neighbours in. I guess we'll find out soon enough. Wow, there is a fossil display here, what looks like a woolly mammoth skeleton display. I haven't seen that before. They must have added that since we last played. We've got kids' playground stuff, which we'll save for a park design. Oh, a cellar door. That's cool. Let's put that around the side of someone's house. On a couple of them. So they've got a cellar. That's a nice little touch. Yeah, I feel sorry for them. Just kind of, they're just like, out you go. Shame. What if someone's got a fish pond? Let's put it in this one. They're the animal lover. They've got a dog house and a fish pond down the front of their garden. Jealous. Wonderful that is. Just makes these properties feel a little bit more lived in. I think some more flowers is what else we need to do. There's not a ton of direct house decorations actually, but maybe upstairs lanterns will look nice at night time as well. So we can just make it look like someone actually lives here. Perhaps a chair outside. A beach chair, but for these people it's a deck chair that they sunbathe in, sit outside in the front garden there. That looks cute. And then maybe this towel can look like a welcome mat for this house. And then this one will give them a gazebo. And under there they'll have a little table and some chairs set around it, where they host little lunches and dinner parties, you know. I think this is why people like building model towns and stuff, right? It must be, I mean, I'm sure there's different reasons, but I feel like they must really, some people must create stories for their town. You know, for the items they're putting in, they're like, okay, in this house, this is in the garden, and it means the family does this, exactly like what we just did. And I think that's really bloody cute, don't you? I like how this one's just trees and then a nice bench where they sit and hang out. And that now, just from up here, is a little bit nicer to look at rather than just empty grass here. We've kind of decorated their gardens, their front area a little bit. I like this one being curved. I might actually give one of these a bit more of a curve so it doesn't just look like a straight line up to it. If we have it actually come in from here and it curves around, it doesn't always have to just be straight. There we go. And a little signpost out front. Pretty good little start there. So let's head back over to what we were doing. Got our high street and the granary. Not enough crops, so they need 80 wool and 80 cotton. Perhaps we weren't doing enough. And some more families moving in. We can also add extra floors if we need to. We have no available houses for now. So let's see how much our farms are making. Doesn't seem super easy to see. But I like the look of our farm. I really like how we designed this. And that you can see the train going underneath. Construct the mayor's home. That is something we need to do. I just found the coolest setting in the settings. I was curious whether there was a way to turn off the icons that are saying this needs this, needs this, needs that, so we can just concentrate on building our model city. And you can. How cool is that? And there was also a setting to have high contrast roads. So there's a real difference here. If I go into the settings and show you, That's what the roads look like without. And then if you turn that setting on, it looks like... where is it? That. A slight change, but a real change on the dirt road. Makes it look really cool. Let's compare the dirt. If we turn it off, a lot brighter, a little bit more washed out. But being able to toggle off all of these icons for needs and connections is great. They know that some people just want to build and not have the game harassing them to do stuff. I'm so impressed by that. I've been, from the beginning, really impressed with the quality of life and touches they have in this. It's genuinely, I think, one of the best city builders I've ever played, to be honest. Ah, this needs a fence around it. Even though we're back up against this wall, this needs to kind of connect up around the back, definitely. To feel like it's actually a lived space. Like that. Let's actually clean this edge up rather than do it like that. There we go. Now it's like a little neighborhood. So, what should we work on next? We've designed our little university area. We've got our high street in the ruin and a library. People looking finely dressed from the dressmakers. I think we should do our little area over here by the beach. More of a lakeside, but a lakeside fun fair? Might change how this area feels, but I am gonna go for it. Rather than... I guess the other option is to do it down on the beach, but I think I'm gonna do it here. As a bit of fun. And we'll see how it goes from there. So we go into our commerce, and we go to leisure. And of course, the center piece of it has to be your Ferris wheel. Which suddenly, do you remember when they all started popping up all around the world? Like, we had the London Eye, and then you see the exact same thing everywhere. Quite a lot of major cities have just giant Ferris wheels. Odd that, isn't it? Like, what an odd trend to start. Yeah, we're all going to have big Ferris wheels now. So before we stick down more items, let's work on our roading. Once this is built. ASMR wood soaring. This hotel becoming almost like a Disneyland resort with this being built. I think we do a curve like this that leads up. But it's also what I want to do is have it come around the back, maybe with a smaller road, go to a 1. Because there's a reason I've left it with a little bit of space around the back here. It's so that people can come around here and have a little sit also. And let's see what this looks like if we change it to sand just at the front here. Where it's into the lake. Just an odd couple of bits of grass there. Maybe do a little bit of terrain movement. Looks a bit odd and flat at the moment. Just shape it a little more. There we go. But I wish I could get rid of this grass. Maybe I have to paint it something else first. No, that's not done it. This grass just does not want to disappear. It's on this area. Change it all back. Sand. Let's do a smaller. I'll have to place objects over it. So I just want to see how that looks if we're looking from this side. Comes a bit of sand there at the back. Almost artificially. And then there's like a little area we'll design. We'll do some chairs. And parasols. It's like a little bit of a lake beach vibe. Imagine people coming and having a dip. A little tent for changing in. There we go, little nice sunshine parasols here. Some beach towels. And a couple more deck chairs. People sit and look out. Enjoy the view. Anything else in here that kind of suits a beach vibe? Let's take a look. Bum, bum, bum. So along here we'll have some of these other things. A merry-go-round. Little fun fair. It makes it feel kind of almost temporary, like this fair has come to town, you know? It's not a mainstay, but it's kind of visiting as they do. I wonder if it's the same everywhere, but here they kind of plot up on a common or something, a green, and then they'll be there for a week, and people go to them, and then they leave and they go somewhere else. Sort of these trodden lines where people go to put in a ball throw. I'm guessing that's like a coconut shy. The sorts of things we found fascinating as children, trying to win a coconut. And a Splat the Rat, where they drop something through a tube and you have to hit it at the bottom. It's like obviously you can't see where it's going through the tube, you have to like time it. And me always having kind of rhythm and being into music and stuff, getting it perfect every time to the point where they're like, this kid can't play anymore. It's like such a vivid memory for me being really little, and I went with my uncle and aunt and cousins to like their local fair thing, and it was this Splat the Rat, and I don't know what you won. Maybe it was like maybe it was even a money thing, I don't know, but I just kept getting it right. And I remember looking up and looking around me and people being impressed at how well I was doing, and I was like, oh, that's cool, people think I'm really good at this. I'm the best at Splat the Rat. We all just want someone to be proud of us, really, don't we? And then over here, I think we'll do a little area where it breaks off and you can have a little puppet show going on with a beautiful backdrop over here. And I feel like you could do something with this street organ to make it feel like the entrance to the fun fair. Let's see. Let's do like a nice cool archway and actually decorate the path to it a little bit more, to where it feels not just kind of tacked on. I know this is a farm sign, but I feel like we could pretend that it's for a fun fair here. And what else could kind of mark the route going on? Probably some lights leading the way as well. Save that for when we do street lights. A lemonade stand. That's so cute. Oh, let's put that there. How adorable. I don't remember that being in there, but I feel like perhaps I just missed it. So there's a sidewalk sign as well. That makes that feel like an entrance. And then they have banners. Do these look a little bit too regal though, to lead the way up to a fair? It does feel more like a sort of a signposted thing. With the wooden archway here, that works, I think. You don't want anything too grand. It's got to almost look like it's temporary as well. I think that works for me. So there's also hopscotch, there's the slide, there's the fountains and the clocks, a picnic blanket. That's what we want out front here for people to sit and watch the puppet show. There's seating, so that's where they'll sit the kids down, and then there'll be chairs further back. And stuff like this, random little crates and boxes and barrels around the place is what will start to make it feel like this is actually a living, working circus. Some of these barrels as well. And like they're sort of still setting up even as they've got here, you know. That's cool. Nice little touch. This is the brand new update that I think just happened. It's like half-built housing and piles of logs. It's called the construction update, and it's like new little building site stuff, which is interesting. It's not the kind of vibe I'm going for here though. The light fence, that is what it will have. The light fence, this is perfect. And that lights the pathway up. Brilliant. Ooh, what if one side's lights and one side is flags? Let's see what that looks like. I quite like that. Because I don't think these lights actually glow in the night. And that adds a little bit of a variety that looks almost kind of, you know, amateurish. I'm also like, whilst doing this in the middle of editing my Odyssey video, I ended up writing a 10,000 word script. I write all of my scripts in WordPad. Even if I'm just doing a TikTok, I just open WordPad and I write all of my own scripts. And I like to see how many words I do at the end when I'm doing a video essay. 10,000 words. I mean, that's a university dissertation, but most of my movie reviews and essays end up being about that long, to be honest. But it always hits me where I go, now I've got to A, record that, which is like an hour to an hour and a half, and then make a video for it. And because I don't sit on cam, that's what's terrifying, is I have to make I have to, every frame, like I have to do everything. I have to find the images for that and make it interesting enough. And it's those times where I go, that's right, it'd be so much easier if I did just webcam and just sit there and talk and do a review. I never will, but it's just, I dread it in those moments. It's like the most fun's writing the script, I think. I do like editing though, so it's fine. But yeah, so that, if by the time this drops, that'll either be out or it'll be out like the next day, because I'm like a quarter of the way through. And that's on MadMorph Movie Club if you want to see it, which is, watch it on YouTube, but it'll also be on the Spotify, the podcast, and everywhere you get them. And yeah, so that's been interesting to do, trying to get through it. Let's put some chairs down for the parents here. So they put the kiddywinks down, and then there's beach chairs behind to make this feel a little bit like a spot to sit and watch a puppet show with the kiddos. Maybe there's an easel here and it's like, get a caricature done. We can use the painter's easel and have a chair there where someone sits in, and then the artist's chair. And you get your painting done, or face painting or something. I think that's come together really nicely. I like that. And then maybe we'll paint the floor so it's kind of, this is getting pretty well trod on as people come over and the grass starts to get dry under the Ferris wheel in the shade. And it becomes dirt, a dark soil and a soft dirt as people traipse over here and take a shortcut to the puppet show. Where the kids are sitting shouldn't totally be dirt. Let's see, maybe like a grayer grass? No, a dry grass? Looks too much like sand. Just don't want it to be long. Can't quite find the right paint that we want there. Dark soil just looks like a mud bath. I'll leave it as grass. But some of that dark soil will be good. Make a smaller line of it. Dithering. I love that you can put dithering on so it's not just like thick. Like that's dithering off. That's dithering on. Gives it a little bit more of a like lived natural feel. That's cool. That's a little bit too much. Let me kind of wash that out a little bit. Just adds a little bit of character, a little bit of difference. Little patches of dry grass under and around where they've been working, like almost becomes like shadow. And leading up to the beach area. Okay. That's pretty nice. I was a bit worried how that would look. I mean, that's really testament to the game, is that you don't have to overthink it too much. But plonking stuff down looks like it fits in the world without being, you know, weird looking. Let's see if there's anything else that would fit here. So we've got the Ferris wheel in. I think the theatre I'm going to do somewhere else. Because it's a nice centre point. Oh yeah, I was going to do the organ as kind of the entry point. Welcoming people in. It's like, the fair is here. Where should it be? I think... Can't quite... I don't want it like right up against the road, I don't think. Back a little bit. Back up, sir. Back up. Ah, I can turn off snap to path and then I can put it exactly where I want. Amazing. There. Off the corner with that billboard. That's where I want it. Nice. But yeah, I've gone a bit Odyssey crazy. So I'm doing that video and I'm also going to read the Odyssey on the podcast. And that's going to be on the free version. So you don't have to join Patreon to hear that. So hopefully I can get that episode out as well for when that video goes up. So if you want to hear me read the Odyssey to you as a bedtime story, check that out as well on Down to Sleep. Spotify and everywhere you get podcasts. That sounded like the jingle. On Down to Sleep. Everywhere you get podcasts. The free podcast to help you get a good night's sleep. Less stimulating than this street organ. Listen to the Odyssey, Coraline, Twilight, The Lord of the Rings, the Narnia adventures. Hey. Sorry. Shh. Go back to sleep. It's fine. Nothing happened. It's okay. Alright, so we've got our little fun fair in. Which is looking cool. That's for you, Grandpa. Let's look at where we're going next. I think along here I want to do more farms. I want another farmland with more croppage. Right here, because we need to get some more families in anyway. I think that'll look nice. As a way of using this hill without having to place too many different things. Man, Man, only 48 people live here. What a dream. What a dream this place is. Just chilling. Romy Fremont here enjoying her garden. Matthias Lemoine up on his balcony. These lucky people, eh? Lucky ducks. Ooh, let's make this a lavender hill. Paint that in. Absolutely gorgeous, that is. Because that way, what my idea with this is it's a really, if you can't see, if you're just listening, it's a sloping hill that comes down towards the lake. And that's been quite hard to put stuff on, but if we have it be a lavender crop, it actually looks really nice. Beautiful lavender color coming down the hillside. And fits perfectly. So then from this angle, that doesn't look quite so like a wasted space. I wonder if I just want to maybe do it a little wider rather than longer. Erase that gently and just bring it over this way to cover a bit of the side that we're looking at a little bit more. And that creates like a nice blanket. I think maybe just a little tweak here where it doesn't quite come over that edge because there'll be a fence. And then we can bring that around the front. Lovely. Let's fence this in. Just tidy up this edge. 1 second. There we go. It's the little touches and little things. It's the little things. So we want this to be straight. Let's go to the tippy point and then straight across. Straight across. And then up. Hugging the lavender. All the way up to the top of the hill. And curve around into the back here. And I wonder if I have to fill that in or if that I think looks acceptable to end it there. And then up on this side. Oh, nope, gone a bit wonk. Gone a bit wonk, mate. Up this way. And breaking it off here because it's obviously then an entrance to the house. Maybe. As the dirt path comes in from this side and out and into the field. But I'm going to leave the field as a full blanket. Whereas over here we cut into it. And it looks pretty nice. I think it's important on this hill that it's just there letting the crop grow. It's a full blanket. And then what we'll do is continue on. The taller fence is what we'll use to kind of block this in and create that feeling of the farmland along this road. And then maybe this fence then comes this way, as that's like their land. And I think that looks really good. Just to paint the hill a different color pretty much, and we could do the same on the other side, but I think I'm going to actually add trees to that side for the hill. Just a little cluster there kind of makes it look less empty because it's the boundary point anyway. This is the only change I would like, is if I could change, I'm at a boundary point, so there's like an odd steep hill where we've built into it. And I could maybe like shift the farm forward and do a row of trees along the back there. I might do that at the end. Just to fill this gap in so you're not seeing a white block, but it's not super noticeable when you're in the rest of the area here. Although you're probably noticing it now that I've pointed it out to you. But don't worry. Look away. Okay. Let's put some lights in our farm area. Some nice little lanterns and such. Ooh, scarecrows. Yes, absolutely. Hanging out on the farm. And some pumpkins. Oh, invalid. Excuse you. This was the Halloween update, I think, these pumpkins. We have played with those before. Great, though. Oh, I don't like the green one. No, no, no. Orange only, mate. Farms. Would farms have candles? I think they'd have lanterns. It feels like a safety thing. Lanterns on the doorways and the barns. Must be very scary at night to live on a farm. It's always one of those things you think, oh, it'd be like living in Green Gables. I'd bet Annie at Green Gables living on the farm. Matthew? And then night falls and you're like, oh my god, get me out of here. No thanks. And at the start of this little area we'll have this kind of older looking street light rather than the electric street light. And that kind of blends it in a little bit better. I wonder if this farm, yeah, has more space for doing stuff. We could put something else here. Let's have cows. Let's have cows in this space next to the sheep. Lovely. And maybe even bring them forward a little bit. And then have a mixture of the fences. So the hedges are for the sheep. And we'll give them a little tiny wood fence along this path. And just give it a little curve on the edge there and then paint that in. Again, not looking for symmetry. You can have little touches. Rustic. Not necessarily amateur, but just human-made. The human touch. Love me, say that you love me. Let's change that a little bit here. There we go. I like that. A little bit more packed in. As farmers would do, they would make the most use of their land. You wouldn't have a big open space like that. You'd think, well, stick some cows on it, love. All right, there, I've got a new farm. I'm going to have some sheep and some cows, son. Sheep and cows, cotton and lavender. Farm area. Looking lovely. I think actually what would be nice, move that street light, match up that fence, and then have it be here. I wonder if you could even put it in the middle of the road. Might be nice. The fence carries on down. Oh, gone a bit skew-iff, son. Needs a bit more space. Or this one needs to... Oh, crikey. What's he doing? Fencing, please. Like so. And then another light here at the front. There. Looking good, looking good, looking good. So I think we need another little residential spot. Looking at our two residential spots so far. I like this one. This one's needed very little decoration to look like a little lived-in spot. Where would the next set of people be living? The fact that this whole area of land is just 4 houses is amazing. I think Perhaps down on this little edge. Ah, why would they not let you build there? It's the boundary is in front of it. I was going to put people up to the edge. It would look weird with the boundary behind where we can't build. We are going to make our way down to the beach and decorate that. And also up towards the ruin. Perhaps there could be a row of housing behind here. Along this cliff edge. Where people can live. But the houses kind of back up onto each other. Over the edge. I think that's quite nice. And we'll go again with a similar kind of Greek Mediterranean white villa style. And they can be a little more, there's less room down here, it's a little bit cheaper. But they're loving life. They're close to the beach. Appreciating those fine things. And so then this pathway is going to come around here in a natural curve. Yeah, so we could actually keep building the houses along there if you wanted. And it curves up and around and joins here. Slightly unhappy with that drawing. Let me just delete that and redo the curve from those points. Back to a dirt. Back to dirt. Dirt, please. Thank you. I don't want it to go like straight to the house's doors. I want it to have a little bit of space in front. And then we might even replace a couple of these houses. That one's good. That one is also good. But you know what? It's feeling more like less scatter placed. More actual neighborhood against each other here. The row of houses that are terraced. And connect in. For people to live in. Change that. I want it to be matching all the time. Opposite sides. That looks like a good corner house. And then that one's a good ending. And then we have a thin little dirt path comes up from each one. Do that again. There you go. Who would live in a house like this? That looks nice. And let's move people in so it starts to be lived in. So also from here we can't see it, but we can move people in there nicely. And around the back it does look like that would exist. I think the mayor's house could be here on this corner, overlooking everything. Let's pull these trees up. And I will replace them, don't worry. And we'll put a mayor's home in up to the edge. Yeah, facing that way. Try that and see how that looks. Might change its rotation slightly. Let's wait. You can also turn off the construction time, but I quite like the quiet moment of placing something and waiting for it to be built and watching the animation. Find it quite relaxing, actually. Okay, so there's a house. Don't like its placement. Let's try that again. I think it needs to be more this way and leave a little bit of space for some trees behind. Like so. That's going to be the one. So there'll be a path that comes curving off of there. Then we start placing our trees back in. And if I'm the mayor, I would so have a cherry blossom out on this corner. Let's try and have a smaller one. That's going to look lovely. And then behind we'll have your standard pines and firs. And bushes out front on either side. And trees behind and around. Very nice. Just snug in there next to the hotel, keeping an eye on things. The cherry blossom's not quite fitting now that the other trees are in, so unfortunately that's got to go, Mr. Mayor. But instead, you've got a stump of the cherry tree they made you cut down, and it breaks your heart every time you look at it. And I would definitely have topiary of animals like Edward Scissorhands leading up to my place. Absolutely. And we'll put some flower boxes on the building. And then look for some lights. I'd have a lovely lantern. Lots of light and lanterns. And a candle to light your way home to me. And then I think we'll put a little signpost out the front to let people know this is the mayor's house and do not bother me. Thank you very much. As well as an actual signpost that says which direction to go in. Wow, look at these gates. Oh my gosh, I could build a little... Oh, that would actually look really nice. Let's do that. It's a little bit posh, but hopefully not gauche, as we put in a golden gate for the mayor. Where have you gone? Gate. That looks super cool. The stone one's a little bit grand, but the golden gate absolutely looks like it would be a posh kind of entrance to the place. Move that over slightly. Onto the path there. And then if we do a stone wall coming off of that, I'm assuming it's going to match up perfectly. What does the white stone wall look like on it? A little too white stony, I think. Compared to the gate. Let's switch to the natural stone. That's going to match up a little bit nicer, I think. Which kind of curves around and then leans up to the hedge of the hotel on that side. That looks really cool. And from here, which also just helps us kind of blend in this long path that's going down yet another hill in this area, and hold things together without us having to fill in every nook and cranny. And I feel like along the back here we'll change it to a shorter wall, because he's like, this is my garden in here and I want to look over the edge, thank you very much. And that connects up to their fence behind. And that looks awesome. And then we give him a little cobble path. A little brick path that leads up to the house. Really nice. Just make it dirt up to the edge where it then changes inside there. There you go. Oh, so satisfying. Literally like painting a model city, which I've never done, but I can imagine. Oh, if I had the space. So would. And the time, darling. Okay, let's just a quick check. Okay. Look, at night time, the mayor's house is all really nicely lit up with the lanterns we put out front. That looks really nice. And the lights for the fair are on. The night passes really quickly. Oh, I like the farm lights too. That's really nice. That makes me think a long line of street lights down here could look nice as well. I think lighting makes all the difference in so many things, doesn't it? In art, films, cinematography, and I would imagine in model houses. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I'm gonna put candles all along the houses here. Just so they've got a nice glow with them all living here. Otherwise it would get pretty dark, this back street, at night time. There we go. Well, let's give them some flowers out front to beautify the area. I'd be such a good mayor. I would be really caring and impervious to corruption. I think impervious is the right word. Unless it was like something I actually wanted. If they were like, you can have all of the Sprite that you want if you let us do this, and I'd be like, okay, I mean, Sprite's pretty nice, but I would be impervious to money, so that's, you know, I feel like if someone's offering you Sprite and stuff, like, they're probably not asking for anything evil, you know. Let's think about where we're gonna get in our animal sanctuary. We need like a new area. We need like to think about where our kind of work area, not a bougie high street, but everything else, the laundry and the animal shelter and everything else that needs to come in. Okay, so we've got our areas done that we had kind of planned out. And we know we're going to come up here towards this ruin where I think I'm going to do a big restaurant on the corner. But it's a hill on the way up, so that would be annoying for a lived space. Perhaps down here, en route to the beach, could be this little kind of industrial spot. Alternatively, we scooch down here and there's a lovely flat bit of land with a pond. I think we do it here. Don't overthink it. Or like Nike says, just do it. And in the UK we call it Nike, even though apparently the correct can't even say correct. The correct pronunciation is Nike. So because it breaks off from the plaza, we'll have it be like a posh road up to here. And that can then match up against this. We've created another space for a park perhaps here, a central park if you will. And as this comes down here, it can be the end of the bouge, and we'll do that by having another clock gate that you exit or enter out from. I think, do we want it there or do we want it off here? Or even here? I think at a slight angle even off of here. Now think about it. So that's the park in there. Yeah, have it be actually facing down this way towards the beautiful beach. That gives us another square on that side. Because we could look at this view from here, we could have this be another overlook. And that allows this road to come out of here where it turns back to dirt. Under your feet. Oh, change to freehand. Not a line. And we curl back off into our next area. I think that is the way we go. And then you've got area here, area here, area here, starts to denote it, and things are coming together. So as we come down here, let's take a look at the kind of things we're going to want to be in here. And I'm already thinking we're going to give pride of place to our animal shelter. Oh yeah, we've got a school area to do as well. And a church area still. Maybe that stuff starts to come into play down here. Where is the pets? Is it in Spesh? Of course it is, because they're ever so special. Oh, okay, that's the edge of the map. So I think we make it nice by the pond here, the animal shelter. Or it could be in there. We swap things around knowing that that's the edge. I'll move these trees. And build it into here. So they get a lovely little pond nearby. And the dogs can watch the ducks. And the cats can laugh at the dogs watching the ducks. And all of the other beautiful animals in here. Gonna leave a little bit of space behind. For trees. And we bring this path down and have it swoop a little bit that way where other stuff will be. And off of here, you've got a slightly smaller road, breaks off to the shelter. And we'll give them some signage out front. The Omlele Animal Shelter, where we quite strictly vet everyone, but it's totally free. And you get free veterinary care and cat food and dog food and goose food for life. There's even a little goose there waiting to be adopted. It's literally the animals that are up for adoption are the ones in this little block. Now that is a touch. Frank the goose. If I click Frank the goose, I can assign him to a family. And it shows you which one wants a goose, and it's this family right there. The Levasseur. Beautiful. Did we do it? Assign. Assign. There you go. Now you have a goose, and we'll have a little goose walking around. Beautiful. Charles the cat. Who wants a cat? Definitely a farm cat up there. They didn't ask for a cat, but they're getting one. Both farms. Oh, more people to move in. There you go. Welcome to the town. So here, I got our signs out front. A little harvest crate. Veggies. Maybe a little dog kennel. Keeps an eye on everything on this side. And then bring some of those trees back in. Palm trees will save for the beach. A willow over the pond. Definitely the animal bushes. They would so have those. There we go, a little sheep over here. And a big cat at the entrance. Potted plant. Ducks on the pond. Couple of swans. Beautiful. And a little decoration in the water. Now, oh wow, there's sandcastles now, that's cool. I think trees I was doing. Wow, bamboo, nice. Just these large trees seem to be working quite well for us, and then behind medium trees. Take some of the edge off of that white cliff that comes down and looks more like they've occupied a space. Nice. And a little bit coming down the side even. which slowly becomes bushes. That looks great. Don't know why I placed this here. Get rid of that. Okay, so there's our animal shelter. Lovely. Let's get someone... Does someone have to work in there? No, it just exists. Off of there... What else could be down here? There's a cute little inn. That would be really nice. By the pond. And then we convince everyone who visits to adopt a rescue animal that needs a home. Perfect. It's like when people go away and they fall in love with stray dogs and bring them home. That's the plan. Get 'em. Chapel I want to do, that's going to have quite a big space. We could maybe work towards the chapel being here where it's the edge. Or actually on this beautiful edge here. Gives us a lot of room for building. And also a school. A school would also be really cute up there. But would you put kids on a cliff? Probably not. Probably not. So maybe... A theatre, though, could also look really nice up there, couldn't it? There's a little kiosk theatre, and I think there's a bigger theatre as well. There is. Wow, that's huge. Okay, that could be really cool. The arts or religion, the arts or religion. We'll just see what looks best, honestly. So let's now bring this into our world, the inn. Having them swoop off of here, and this looks like the kind of place that would have a nice archway out front. Lavender from our local farms. And hedged off pathway. Which then breaks off here for people to enjoy the pond. And rather than it following the path, we have a little bit of a space here that belongs to the inn and just comes around the back like that. So then we can decorate out front as well. I think a nice pond would look good here. If they have the water features. It's a plaza feature, really, but I think that looks nice. A pond and a pond. And where's that beautiful swing set? Oh, let's get some of these street signs in to show where people need to go. Once they get around here. It doesn't quite match there, though. Leave it, actually. It's okay to change your mind. A well. This is definitely an area that would have a well. Ooh, a brazier. Over by the pond, and people sit out here and admire the beautiful ducks. And talk about how they're never going to eat duck again because they love them so much. There we go. And all of the chairs are this side because people want to look at the beautiful view and enjoy the fire. While staying at the inn, we also have a book nook to encourage reading. And a couple of stone benches around the pond for people to enjoy. Don't think we'll do picnics out front because it's not a food area. And we'll do a swing along this back here. A little cute garden space. The swing there, and then we fill the rest in with trees. Beautiful. Larges into mediums that don't swallow the space up. Bushes in front. And already that's fitting in quite nicely, I think. Can't quite see the willow over the pond. Maybe have one here over the benches. Gorge. Absolutely lovely. Let's not forget to add a bit of lighting. An inn is so giving lots of lanterns out front vibe. As people come and get their pets to live with forever and ever. Nice. Okay, also in this area, the theatre's going to go up there. There could be a cute little kiosk theatre. I don't think we'd put a smithy here. I did say a working area, but now we've made it really pretty. Perhaps off here somewhere would be your carpentry and industrial. And pottery. The pottery place looks really cute. Ooh, the candle maker. The candle maker would definitely be over here. A little boutique store. Over by the inn. And then off of there we break off and up into a more sort of workmanlike area where I'm making some pottery and some smithing. Yes. And then people come to the inn and they're like, oh, do you know anywhere to get a lovely gift to take back with me? And they're like, there's a lovely, lovely candle maker in the shop next door. Her name's Penelope. And it's pennies candles. And they're a penny each. I don't know how she's running her shop. But she just does it for the love of candle making. Bloody loves wax. Don't ask. What people get up to in their free time's their business, but she's selling the candles for a penny a piece. And we'll have that here, at about kind of this angle. Or let's zoom out a little bit and see how that's looking. Actually, I would quite like to do is something a little unorthodox. And have this be the corner store that ends the pathway before it breaks up and around. So instead of just having these curves everywhere, we have that on the corner and then another path. I wonder if we turn it to brick there. I just like everything being a dirt path, to be honest with you. I don't like how it looks when it suddenly changes to brick without it being with a gate or a fence of some kind. Which I guess you could do. All off the industrial area. But it just looks so nice, the dirt path coming up. Maybe have the dirt path break off, and then here we do a little gated vibe with that grand stone gate from earlier. Without it being the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate does look really nice. I think I'm going to go Golden Gate. It somehow looks less grand than the big stone gate. And that is going to kind of just isolate the industrial space. Where just along here we can have everything else backing off of here. So a smithy up at the top of the hill. It's got a horse out front, which is cute. But they like to keep the noise away from the animals, so it's up here at the tippy top. I think the pottery looks really nice. That one's going to be closer to the gate. As you come in. Oh, just can't quite go back far enough here, actually. Maybe it'll have to be one of the smaller ones. The pottery could back up onto the candle shop. Just gonna like play with this and feel it out and place them. Carpenter's nice and small, so that can slip into that space there. Yeah, I've come to stay at this inn. There's bloody woodwork and all sorts going on all night long. And that gets everything going in the spaces as it's needed. This would also be a great place for another little pub, but let's worry about that in a minute. So when it gets to here, we have that stone gate, which is just to allow me to change to brick. And I think it's giving square pathing lined at first out, switch to freehand, and those kind of just break off from there. That looks kind of ugly. Needs to be thicker. Let's have a thick square come out of there. There you go. That matches up with the gate perfectly. Try it as a line. Up. I think. Yeah. Actually pull the line over that way. And we have a little break off here. That looks better. And a break off up to there, but make that straighter. Probably because they gotta like transport stuff, you know? And you can't get good grounding with the dirt. I don't know. It just feels like it makes sense to me. Just slightly widen this path in spaces coming up to the smithy. Round out that little corner and edge a little bit. And leading up to here. So then you've got an extra little bit of space for something in here, I think. But I'm also going to fill it in with some trees. Let's see what else we have that could go in there. We did do a clothing store, didn't we? Oh yeah, the shoemaker. I left those off, and those actually look really nice because they're shaped. Let's just check our high street and see what we already have. What did I put in? The luthier, the perfumer, the dressmaker, and the jeweler. Okay, so we can put an optician's and a hatter's and stuff like that in here. So it's not just a work area, but people come here to do a little bit of the artisans live here making stuff, and then they sell them in this little row of shops. I like that. Let's see what it looks like if we do Opticians Central, and either side boots and hats and boots and hats. I think the boot should be on that side, creating a nice shape for the high street next to the carpenters, and the hatters comes on that side, doesn't it? Cute. And maybe it could just be dirt path in front, circular, freehand. See how it looks. If it just curls out from here. Oh, wait, that's still a line. There's a little row of shops there. And just tidy up this edge of the brick. It's pretty cute. It's pretty cute. Try sand instead. I think that might look nicer. Fit the area. Just give it a bit more of a different trodden vibe. Welcoming. That looks great. Okay. We'll add some lights out front. Street lights. Street lights. What kind of lights would they have here? Feels like definitely the dark wood, but not the classic vibe. This kind of Sherlock vibe of that one. But it's single. There we go. Just space those along there. And also along this side. Because you don't want just a random empty space there for no reason. That lights the street where people shop. And a couple up here lighting the smithy. think I might break off around this way, so I'm going to not follow up here just yet, because that'll go off to the temple or something. The temple? What do we call this? It's a bloody church, son. And then I think in here we'll do bushes and stuff. Sort of thing that would... bushes and benches. Flower pots here and here. A couple of long seats. Wooden benches that face both ways, backing up onto each other. Makes it feel like a mini high street. I just want to space that out a little bit different, actually. I think I can click move on these, can't I? Someone said that to me before. After 5 parts of my series, I don't know whenever they said it, but I finally realized it. They were like, you don't have to demolish it every time. You can just click the move button. I mean, I streamed survival games for years, and people would always tell me the hotkey to move something from your inventory. People would be like, you don't have to drag the item, old man. How many times are we going to have to teach you this lesson? You do not have to click and drag from your bag. Just like click, control click, or hotkey R or something. I was like, I know, but A, I'm going to forget. B, I like dragging it. Always dragging it. Okay, let's get a tree in. Trees along the back. Trees along the back. Trees along the back. All my trees along the back. Oh, set back to random. Shorter ones here. And then get some big trees in. If we can fit them. I don't think they will. Switch to medium. Because otherwise it just feels a little bit odd that we've hit a boundary of the map. And there's nothing there. There you go. Perfect. I'm doing so well. I was really worried. I'm proud of myself. And you should be proud of yourself too. That's the thing, you know. You know, people go, I'm proud of you. A, that's nice. B, it's a really good tip to say, you should be proud of yourself, because we need to teach people to have pride in themselves, not look for it from external sources. And I'm proud of me for how I've done today, because I was a bit worried about A, being brain dead, B, knowing what to do. And I had, you know, Town to City is one of those ones that gives you that fear of a blank canvas. But we just took these first steps from all the way over here, thinking this would be a nice area. And I was also a little intimidated by the map and the curvature of it all. But we've now got this beautiful little start to a town. Where they come in and they've got the market on the right. You can stop for some food before you catch your train or you've arrived fresh back from town. The bistro and the pub. And you come over our nice bridge, which started this whole thing, was just building this little water area where you come and step over. And then to your right, if you're staying in the boutique hotel, you've got a lovely little pond with ducks and a little garden to overlook the beaches and the cliffs. On the left, the fairgrounds in town. Why not take in a puppet show, win a coconut, have a go on the merry-go-round, or ride our Ferris wheel that overlooks the lake with the swans. Enjoy the beach chairs. Continue your walk to our residential housing if you're staying in an Airbnb or something, or maybe you're moving in to never leave. Over roaming hills of lavender, up to the farms. Say hello to the cows and the sheep, and our friendly farmers, and a scary scarecrow. From there, you come all the way back over town to our high street, through regal gates and by a stoic library full of autumnal colours and leaves. And our bougie high street, inside an old ruin. A beautiful mural denotes our jeweler. Get her something special, or even more special from the fine art auctioneer. Get a new dress, get some perfume, everything that you could need. in the shadow of our clock tower. Cobbled streets for a beautiful little neighborhood. This is Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And back out the gate and into the land where you can get a friend forever. A new family member perhaps. A cat, a dog, a goose. Or enjoy some time at our little mini pond and spend a night at the inn, warming yourself by the fire, toasting marshmallows and drinking cocoa as you swing on the swing set. Don't mind that beautiful, quiet, respectful ASMR noise from nearby. It's just our industrial area as you head past the candle makers and see carpentry and pottery and smithing, because we like you to see that what we're selling on our cute little high street here is 100% human made. See it being made next door and the materials being crafted with, and then peer through the window. Get yourself a new hat, some new glasses, and some boots. And I think that's a pretty beautiful start to a new town. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this part of Town to City. I'll see you in the next one. There are some more videos on the screen if you need a bit more time tonight to get you down to sleep. Or check out the podcast Down to Sleep, where I read books to you. You can find all the links that you need in the description for this episode. Until next time, have a great rest of your night, and thank you for watching. Good night.